All right. Let's see. I think I'm live. All right. So, hello. I'm Aloysius. I am an artist, and I'm doing my first live stream on my personal channel. This is not the first channel I've had. Odds are, if you're watching this, you're joining me at a later date. I haven't really promoted this too much. I put out a Facebook statement that I was going to put it out, and I wanted to post on my previous channel, which I built up after a while, and but I wasn't able to figure out how to do that kind of YouTube post that YouTubers do. I hope you can hear me all right. It looks like it's getting to the green and the yellow. Move this microphone a little closer. That brings it up to the yellow a little more. So today, I'm going to be drawing or coloring 3 hand-drawn images. Oops. I'm going to be coloring this comic page, possibly this one, most likely just the upper levels, and we'll be discussing them as we go. And I'm going to start with this one right here. Now, if you watch, she shows up in every single one of these pages, and she is also a tarot card from... Now, I don't think this is the final version of the Princess of Wands that I'm going to do. I think it's going to be her when I finally do that. However, I drew this at a smaller size. At the time, I just wanted to get her on paper and in a kind of finished look. And I based this off of the Hermetic Tarot. And so there's a process that I'm working with, and this is to show process and to entertain. Really, I know the one thing that I'm really good at in life is telling stories and entertaining, and also my art is a major passion for me. Now, this is the kind of quality of what I make. I have a bunch like this. You can see some behind me. I kind of have them on display there. And they all start hand-drawn. I'll probably at some point as the video goes on, if I get people joining me, I'll show some of the hand-drawn stuff that I'm doing and that I'm working on. There's one framed right here. But with that, I'm just going to begin coloring, and I'm going to start with her because she is going to be the consistent force throughout these 3 pages that I'm coloring. Her name is Ravel Raven. She's the Princess of Wands, and she's one of the main characters of a comic that I may or may not one day create. Honestly, I believe this channel and all of this are the more likely direction that I'm going with all of this. The images, of course, could be on t-shirts. They, much like I'm wearing. This is my maiden voyage, right? I'm starting this channel today, and so I'm wearing the Fool. I'm wearing Persephone. I'm delving into something that I'm afraid to do. I was quite nervous before this live stream began, and but yeah, I honestly, I love, this is from a Etsy shop called Ghoulish Garbs. It's one of my favorite tarot card shirts they've ever made. And it's actually a representation. I bought it as a representation of my girlfriend, who I call Persephone, and that's the goddess depicted on this shirt. Now, with this, what we're going to do is we're going to start with one of the more bold colors. And here's the funny thing that I've noticed. I've been working with RGB and CMYK for a while, and one of the major problems that I have encountered is that to print anything really below this line right here, and on this side right here to the right or below is too dark for a printer. And now I've managed to get some killer oranges out of a printer once. Oops, I have contiguous unchecked. Now what I've done is I'm working with a base color. All of the color theory is going to revolve around this color right here. And so right now what I'm doing is I am setting up kind of darkest purple that I plan to use. And I figure, you know, okay, so she is essentially not unlike Buffy the Vampire Slayer, even though she herself is a vampire. She's a complicated character. She's an immortal, may or may not be a vampire, but is definitely a little more chaotic. Let's see how this looks. I want her to be quite pale. Yeah, I think we're going to go a little less pale. Let's see. Maybe bringing it to here. It seems as though the setting that I have yeah, I think that's all right. So we're just going to get her skin done. I don't think there's much skin. A couple of fingers. And one of the things that I have to do is I have to clean all of this up fairly consistently. Oh, and I'm already forgetting something. We're going to go back. We're going to start over. Because I skipped a process. Magic eraser tool. We're just gonna, click contiguous. And we are going to erase it all. And now we're gonna duplicate layer. What is the hotkey for this? I knew it. I used to know it. Let's see. Duplicate layer. Okay. Duplicate layer. Okay. Duplicate layer. Okay. And that allows me, as I'm coloring things, to just be able to work in layers and not mess everything up if I... and it's very easy to mess up the coloring process. Okay, so we're going to start with, we got the skin picked. I don't like this skin tone though. It's far too European. I don't really like having characters of any certain race. So we're going to go in and we're going to continue to mess with this. She's kind of undead. And we'll be, you know, I mean, with her, part of the major fun of her character is kind of what she could be, what she is. Let's see. Oh, I see. Yeah, only web colors. That's interesting. So these are colors that are able to be seen by the web. I think we're going to go with this for now. I do want this. Yeah, I think that works. We're going to go with this. It's not the ideal color. Typically, I try to explore. As you'll see with more of this one right here, I don't really do a lot of humans. I do things and people that are like humans. This is, I mean, obviously inspired by kind of the old retro futuristic sci-fis back in the day where, you know, I kind of based this female character off of, like here, she has a beehive, kind of 1960s look to her, you know, and she's also kind of a bit of like the Witchblade, you know. And we're going to get to that. We're obviously going to have to clean all this up, but right now we're focusing on Ravel here. So we're just going in, we're coloring all of this. So it's going to get more advanced and a little more interesting as we go. Let me make sure I get that color here. So now, oh, right. And we're going to do a base layer. I think this was the kind of uniform color that I wanted everything to fit to. And so here we have what she will eventually, the color that we're working from. Her hair is going to be about that color. We're going to switch over to a pink now. More of a like bright hot pink. And we are going to get parts of her umbrella done. Brandon, you are on speaker on a live stream on YouTube. Say hello to the world.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Yeah, nope, very bad idea, but you called, and I'm live streaming, so welcome. You want to talk about your AI art? I'm currently...
Well, I mean, it's just the output of running your text through Stable Diffusion there.
Right. I look forward to continuing to mess with AI art. I've been messing with it quite a bit. I love it. I do think that...
Did you see that doc I just sent you?
I haven't. I've been... I mean, I saw the first image you sent, the one of my corporate logo that...
I should have just shared a doc with you of that story you did for the roleplay group.
Oh! The one with the living centipede?
Carry-on.
Yeah, the carry-on crawler.
Yeah, it's illustrated, that document now.
Oh! Well, that sounds freaking boss.
Yeah, you should open that up.
Okay, hold on. Are you watching me on YouTube right now?
No.
Well, pull it up, buddy, because I'm about to look it over.
Well, I mean, I know what it looks like. I've seen it.
Yeah, but, you know, get me a view. I don't have any views right now. This is my first live stream, Brandon. Let's see. I probably shouldn't pull up my email and a live stream. Jesus, Brandon, what are you doing to me? Okay. Nope, I don't want to take a tour of Google Office. Okay, here we go. The littlest crawlers, First Hug, by Ravel Raven, who's actually the character we're cuddling. She writes creepy tales. It was not long ago, after hatching in a writhing nest filled with decay and rot, that the little carrion crawler, which is a character, Bob from D&D, learned it was a separate entity from its brood. The stones and mushrooms...
No, wait, dude, I'm not going to hang out and listen to you read that.
No!
But,
Brandon, you stay here. You pull up my YouTube channel, and it's Aloysius Savant. Pull me up, man. Be my viewer.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
I love you, Brandon.
Peace.
Peace. All right. Well, we got a bit of a diversion. Let's see. We will do this. This is AI generated. This is AI generated. And let's see how it's done. So, me and Brandon have been discussing a lot of AI generation kind of stuff. He and I are very good friends, and I've been messing with it a lot. I've made a couple of comics with AI generation and stuff like that. As an artist, I like it. You know, I don't think this is something that's competing with me as an artist. I think it's its own thing, and it's an enjoyable thing to like. So, I wrote this story years ago, and he has entered these paragraphs into... Oh, gosh. Okay, let's give Brandon a call. I'm assuming Brandon's not watching. I have no way of seeing how many people are tuned in right now. So this is fantastic. Let's give Wakefield a call. And we're gonna maybe pull up my live stream from another account so that I can see how many viewers I have. Hey, Brandon. I'm looking at these images now. They're fantastic, man. So these were created by an AI, huh?
Stable diffusion.
I love the creepy skull woman, and it's getting pretty good. This absolute.
Well, none of these had any of you see the stuff online and people add all of these crazy modifiers to try to guide it and stuff to get the images they want. I did none of that crap. I was literally copy pasting paragraphs at a go, and this is what it's coming up with.
Right.
So I don't know, man. You know, I got some ideas here. We need to do a study. I kind of think what the trick will be is we pick a couple hundred nouns, basically, and then what we do is we get you to write a bunch of the flowery descriptive language to try to color the AI and rendering those things, and then we pick a couple of the stuff that they have online, like the hyper realistic or Nikon D90 or whatever. There's all these crazy shit you can add one that'll steer it towards certain sort of styles. But I think the trick would be to then just take and sort of let the computer run through a script, go through your 100 or so nouns times all of the descriptive language times some of the other modifiers, and see if you can end up on a thing that is sort of a pathway for a style that you could then use for what we were talking about with some of the try to generate comic stuff.
So this is the Mushroom Girl right here. That's yeah, I mean, I want this on my computer, man. I want to download this. I'm sure my computer can run it. I don't...
How much VRAM do you have? If you just go to Task Manager and then go to, I think it's the Performance tab or something, somewhere under one of those, it should show you, GPU stuff and tell you how much RAM there is there.
Performance or GPU? What am I looking for exactly?
Do you see something that's dedicated RAM or VRAM?
Dedicated GPU memory, 12 gigabytes. 9.2 is currently being used.
Jeez, I don't know. I never use any except for when I run these models. I don't know if I use anything that actually touches my GPU elsewise. But, yeah, no, copy. If you've got 12 gigs of dedicated GPU and it's an NVIDIA card, which I believe it is, you should be able to run this stuff.
Right. Photoshop's still currently running it at 66% with that GPU. So
Yeah, copy. So, I don't know, man. Not today. Give me a couple more days to F around and get familiar and figure out some workflow stuff, and then we'll get you set up.
Yeah, I mean, and what I love, I mean, this really is, it's able to cross medium, it's able to do a lot of interesting stuff, and there's no way that wolf is AI.
What's that now?
This wolf, that is a hyper-detailed wolf. I don't see any AI in that.
Well, because, I mean, the thing is if you just ask for normal stuff, it's got a huge corpus,
Right.
To Thanos stuff, it gets a little more morphy and strange, but for your writing, it's kind of spot on.
Oh, I mean, I everything I do is I try to keep it morphy and strange. No parallel lines. I mean, so this
But I think we can is like the real trick though is to find the words that gets it to like a consistent space, right? That you can then start throwing like nouns basically at it, and then you take those small 512 by 512 images, and then you start essentially photo bashing them onto your page.
Yeah, totally.
But I really want to figure out the image-to-image stuff too, because I think when we hit on one we like, with the image-to-image stuff, I should be able to just like kind of. I got an idea on how I can get around that. I can only do 512 by 12 at a time. It looks like with the image-to-image stuff, you should be able to like just sort of scooch the image over and then let it fill in what was missing from the original prompt.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of stitch them all together from there.
I mean, I gotta say, I am, looking at these, I am slightly jealous of an artificial intelligence. I mean, this giant green monster that's like ripping out of the ground with these big savage stone teeth. It's
So what's interesting is there's one paragraph in there. I ran it twice and it just wouldn't generate an image that is not safe for work detector wouldn't flag, so it wouldn't save it. I did some Googling. I got to do some work to actually be able to apply the hack, but looks like it's pretty straightforward to remove the check from the source so it can generate non-safe for work images, which will open up a whole new world of weirdos and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I say we keep the not safe for work check unchecked.
Well, my understanding is it's easy to false flag it, and I'm really curious about what the hell it was generating. You know what I mean? In those cases, because like it wasn't like anything sexually explicit was requested in that paragraph, but I'm very curious for the level 4 it was actually generating that triggered that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the language of my writing. I don't think I've read this story since I wrote it.
Oh, no, this was after the flagged image, you know, like after the image is generated, then it's like, oh, we're not going to save that. It doesn't pass the detector on the output image.
Oh, so because it generated an NSFW, it just wasn't going to show you what it generated?
Yeah, exactly, and it's pretty straightforward to get around that. I just haven't, because of the way I'm running stuff, I can't edit the files I need to at the moment. Like I said, I got some playing around to do to actually get the workflows and the like figured out, but yeah, I tell you, I should probably be doing my job instead of this shit.
No, I mean, you're good not doing your job, you know? I mean, what the heck is a job anyway, man? It's just a bunch of BS.
Oh, I mean, you know, fucking something like.
Dude, I love it when you get distracted from work. You always create the best stuff. And honestly, man, messing around with AI with you sounds like it's going to be a great deal of fun, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I got, Okay, so your assignment, Al, is I want you, like, Mad Lib style, to basically give me a list of 100 or 200 nouns. You know, man, chair, woman, camera, Raven, whatever the fuck, like, things would be elements of the universes that you work with.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually done that several times. I have them on Night Cafe, the AI that I was using, just to mess around.
And then, like, I think the other thing we need to do, though, is then find, like, some sort of stylistic, like, a set of, like, stylistic adjectives, essentially, to go with it. So, like, dark, moody, you know, because, like, you've got those words in your writing where you're sort of trying to set an atmosphere independent of the thing in the atmosphere. So what I want is a list of nouns and then, like, maybe a dozen or so sort of atmosphere-establishing kinds of languages. Mm-hmm. And then I just want to run all of the nouns across all of those things and just let it buck for a while and see what comes out.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good time.
Well, I mean, in particular here, what I'm trying to do is develop an intuition for how to, you know, get the thing to do.
Get the thing to do, huh? That's what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
Nice. I love it.
Do what it do. But, no, see, like, I figured we need to do that, and then what we have almost is sort of, we can generate a page that we can use as a reference then of, oh, hey, this kind of language is going to give us these sort of effects. Because ultimately, then what we want to do is get that narrowed down to the subset of, okay, so now I can take arbitrary story text plus this crap, and it gets me, halfway there to something you can start photoshopping with.
Yeah, and modifying it to actually be mine.
Well, yeah, that's the idea, is this is just generating lots of raw assets that then you like I said, you photo bash together to actually produce something coherent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, there's a really neat images it generated, but, it really fails if you try to have more than one thing at a time in there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Or something, I don't know. But I'm surprised at how it seems to do much better with more crap added.
How do you mean? The more descriptive words you add, the better it gets. And I've actually, I might go through at some point on this stream, since I'm streaming right now. I might go through and show some of the images that I've created using AI that really hit the characters that I was describing. And I haven't been able to do it all. Like, there's one of the characters that I'm planning on using is kind of like the Doctor Doom. He's kind of like a cross between Skeletor and a king. And so he's got a skeleton head, but he's got a crystal crown on the top of his head, kind of a purple, dark red, kind of crystal and maroon. And I haven't been able to get AI to actually recognize what I'm trying to describe with that one, although it's very abstract. It's almost like I might need to feed it some images of what I've drawn of it.
Yeah, so that's where I'm really excited too, is figuring out the image-to-image stuff, where we can basically say, like, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it could, like, do some coloring and stuff for you, or I don't know, but it seems like there's some cool stuff happening there.
When I was doing my Are We Cool Yet inspired, like, SCP video that I never dropped on Haunted Harbor Tours channel, I did a lot of image kind of like, I put in a screen cap of me from the video, and then I did it in the same way, that guy,
The Joel Haver.
Yes, exactly. I did the Joel Haver style with it, so that the AI was tracking my movements and kind of keeping that image consistent and generating it in an interesting way. It made for a really cool video, but the video was also incoherent, and it was messing with SCP Foundation stuff, which, is a very strange niche. It's kind of public domain, but whatever. And it, I just ultimately didn't use it, but I created a really cool video that's like so trippy and unfinished, sadly. I do wish I actually saw it through, but there was a lot going on in my life at that moment. Did I ever show you those videos at all?
I don't think you did.
They're really cool, man. But I was getting burnt out with ghost tours, and, there was a lot going on in my life at that moment. So, that's why I never really finished it. Yeah, man. Feel free to find my channel, Aloysius Savant. I don't think anybody's going to be able to see this unless I share it. And so I'm probably going to share it now.
I saw you were live when I found your channel.
Oh, you found my channel.
For like 20 seconds, and then you called, so I don't know if the phone kept back going or not. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm going to at least send it to...
stopped whenever I answered.
Yeah. No, I mean, my phone is turned off the video as well. I've got my computer still watching it, just to, be able to see how many subscribers are in. I want to be able to see if anybody's come in. It's currently only one watching now, but I'm going to post it onto Facebook, and get, hopefully, some Facebook people to jump in.
Yeah. I mean, you do you on that.
Yeah.
Not much for the live streaming jazz.
No, but you know, and the thing is like, anytime I see a live stream on YouTube these days, it's always some live stream of a long running music, kind of a meditation thing.
Oh yeah, the less live stream and more just straight up looped indefinitely kind of crap.
Exactly. And so, I mean, you know, I know for a fact nobody's going to see my videos on Twitch. If I do a live stream on Twitch, it will vanish into the abyss almost immediately. But having done YouTube for a long while, I know for a fact that people will go back and watch this live stream like later on. And also, you know, it's easier to get views on the YouTube platform, and that's why I'm starting here. I'll probably at some point start a Twitch channel and do some streams on Twitch. You know,
I hate to say it, but because of the size of the form factor and stuff, I wonder if TikTok wouldn't be the right target for some of the AI arts synthesized crap we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at TikTok. I've actually finally opened a TikTok account, but my fear with TikTok is, everybody says that, it's like a data harvesting.
For the Chinese, absolutely.
Exactly. And it's just like, I don't know if I want... I mean, I've already signed the contract. I think I've already agreed to whatever it is they wanted. But, like, I mean, just to install it. I installed the app. Yeah, so I'm effed already. But I'm not necessarily how much I want to dive into the TikTok world. Especially since, most of the stuff I see from TikTok is stuff going viral where people are, like, attacking each other, being mean to each other. It seems like a particularly volatile.
There, I think. Not that I use it, but it's the fire hose, And I think a lot of your bright shiny colors is the kind of stuff that does well there.
Yeah.
And if that leads as a funnel into more YouTube stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I'm looking to explore. My big thing, Brandon, is the one thing I've never had.
Teasers for YouTube. Like, hey, you think this is cool? Come see the whole video.
Oh yeah, and that's what I see. All I'm looking for right now is a way to build an audience, because that's the one thing I've always needed, but I've never built well. Haunted Harbor Tours, I mean, I had 270 subscribers. I had an audience in person like crazy. But it's building an online audience, a consistent audience that I'm going to have to work on. It's going to take time, but it begins with these streams. I'll probably, maybe tell a couple of stories in the next couple of days, release a couple of videos before I do the next stream. Probably I'm going to try to do them on Tuesdays, from now on, until October hits. And then I'll be so stressed with the ghost tours that I'll forget about this for a little while.
Yeah, copy that. Well, hey, if you want to email me list of prompts to run.
Yeah, I'll send that over to you. We'll do that maybe
to get you up and running.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call.
Well, it was actually going a lot better on your crazy crap than the stuff I was trying with it.
Oh yeah, no, left brain shit is the best way to harvest an AI. It's only as good as the inputs you put in. And you got to be weird with it.
Garbage in, garbage out, man. No one produces the garbage like you.
I love you, Brandon.
All right, I'll catch you later, buddy.
Peace out, dude.
Peace.
All right, well, I guess we have our first caller. So, anyway, yeah, I do mess a lot with the AI generated images, just as like a fun hobby. I've been finding it quite enjoyable, media synthesis, and all of that. Let's see. What do I want to... We're going to just finish this hair. I missed a couple of spots. Now, this one, I think over here I want to go with like a lighter color, perhaps. More of a pink. She's got kind of that... No, I think I gotta... maybe shift to here. Too dark. Let's go lighter. Let's go with a blue. Too bright. Yeah, that looks about right. So yeah, I mean, she looks pretty sinister, right? And that's kind of the goal with her, is to be a fairly sinister in appearance kind of figure. Let's B. I like to use hotkeys. And we're going to begin the exploration of the kind of finding her palette and her shading. I don't shade very often. As a kid, I was in an art class, and the teacher said, he forced us all to do shadows. And he was our math teacher in most classes, but he had taken over an art class that I was assigned to. He had explained to me that on all my drawings in math class, he had never noticed any drop shadows or any shadows whatsoever. I was middle school at the time. And, I was a very rebellious kid. I told him I didn't want to use shadows, man. Like, that's not my jam, dude, And he said, well, but you gotta. And, I didn't. I was a kid at the time. And I really haven't worked a lot with shadows. I've been trying to recently. You'll see shadows show up from time to time in some of my tarot cards. I'm trying to use them more. But I'm really not about it. Now, this is Ravel Raven. She's a chaotic princess, kind of a punk rock chick. And she's 5,000 years old. She's ambiguously immortal. She's a sadist, and she enjoys scaring people, obviously. If I were to describe her, it's like Buffy and Harley Quinn, maybe merged together. But let's see, what colors do we want? I try to keep all of my characters in secondary colors. I prefer secondary colors way more than primaries. And let's see, I really want her palette to be a simple one. Pinks, purples, light blues, and maybe a little red. The yellow will be good for some of these decorative things. And these decorative things on her dress here are to kind of show a bit of... Uh-oh. Oh my goodness, look at that. I missed 2 pixels, which is very easy to fix. 1, 2, and we're going to go in and we're going to hit G and we're going to fill that in. That's good. It's a nice, almost greenish yellow. We can use that in a couple of places. With this teacup, let's do the teacup now. And I'll tell you what I want. I want kind of like this, and then we're going to grab that light blue here, and we're going to begin kind of like a decorative thing. I'm thinking, like porcelain. This is... Draw like a flower here. So I draw this by hand, but then one of my favorite parts is going in and adding pixel art to my images. And that's why I feel like this is going to be a really fun live stream. And I meant to say it before, but one of the things that I love about YouTube, if you are watching this at a later date, one of the things that I love is that YouTube offers anyone watching the ability to press L. And so if there's a part that you find boring, or if I get stagnant at some point, which, I mean, I've really only done a few streams in the past, and I'm not quite, let's see, we're going to go up this way, so let's actually get it over here as well. I have no idea what that is. That's just nothing. But we can do a symbol of astrology right here. We'll throw in another one that I kind of think fits her. And let's see. You know what? We'll do the symbol for the sun in alchemy. And over here, we'll close it off with maybe just a nice little square pattern. And so let's say here, we'll kind of do this. And we'll draw a little flower in each. I mean, you know, depending on the print size, these will probably never really be able to be seen in their big details, but I love throwing stuff like this in. And we're going to kind of cap it off right here. Some faces. Yeah, there we go. Nice little piece of china. Alt G, boom, fill that in. And let's see. This, I believe, was a direct reference to this right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this. We're going to grab some of the colors. I think I'm going to do that light blue there. No, we're going to maybe do this one. There we are. And this darkened green. Keeping it to secondary colors. I don't want to use a whole lot of green with her. So though she's undead, green is more rot and decay, which she and her family wouldn't be so much rot and decay. Let's see. Now this raven is a darker purple, and ravens are going to be used a lot, especially with her. She is Ravel Raven. Oh, yeah, I'm liking that. And let's see. I think near white, maybe like this might be good for here, 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 and here, and here. So that way her dress is kind of switching colors a little bit. One of the things I love is I actually secretly love drawing women's fashion. And actually her dress is the, as I color these, you'll notice in some of the panels, her dress is never consistent. I kind of work with the idea that she has a dress that can take any form at any time, and it's just kind of got a mind of its own. And so she's kind of this constantly changing dress. And I've done this for a number of reasons. If anybody ever, if I ever find my audience, and if I ever am successful with my art, what I want, and actually let's use this for the trim here, and we gotta go in, we gotta fill in some of these black circles that I missed. This is just part of the process right here. So we're going to go in, we're going to fill these in. I think keeping it a light color is a good idea. And the flames are going to be interesting. We have to figure out the colors that we're using here. I'm trying not to use too many colors with Ravel, but I've already gotten so far into it. I'm already using so many. It's kind of hard to change that up. And of course, she has a whole story, as you can see. As you heard, if you listened to the phone call with Brandon, you know, she's even based off of a D&D campaign. I'm not going to read that AI story because I remembered that it was actually written with characters from that D&D campaign in it, and so that story is kind of scrapped and lost to the ages, despite it actually existing and you know, all of that. So she's painting her horns, and I want to illustrate that she's treating her horns like fingernails. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find that second color, and I'm thinking it's a pink. I'm thinking maybe this pink that she has on the bottom. So let's see how that looks. Yeah. And then we can get maybe what looks good here. What matches? Maybe she's put some decorations in her horn. Something like this. We'll do 3 for now. See how that looks. Three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm allowing mistakes, you know? Like, this one doesn't match this one, but no. It would be going this way, wouldn't it? Now, I have a couple of other programs that I use to color. I know Photoshop the best. I've used it the most consistently. But I have some third-party kind of tools that I sometimes use, different brushes and stuff like that. I haven't customized my Adobe super well over the years. And as a result, they're not... It's not the easiest program to use as an artist, and figuring out the customization necessary for keeping it consistent and also, I mean, not consistent, but getting the kind of colors that I want and stuff like that and the brushes that I want is very difficult. There's a lot of feathering stuff in Adobe, kind of soft edges, which for me, I strongly prefer strong, hard lines. So here we go. We're getting this done. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. And I drew this by hand, by the way. One watching now, so still just one person in. I will check the chat as this continues. Yeah, so far nobody's joined the chat. hopefully somebody will come in at some point. Although my first video, I've never even uploaded a video to this channel, so I expect nothing. Although I do look forward to, if you are watching this later on, drop a comment in, you know. And of course, subscribe. I don't think I'm going to ask for subscribers a lot on this channel. Oh, another thing I really want to do is, let's say I do eventually make this a success, which I hope I can. You know, I've got to figure out, I'm moving soon, I'm closing my business that I mentioned to Brandon about, you know, we were talking about. And as I kind of continue this, I want to be able to, I want to find charities to donate to. I think it's really important that, and I've donated a lot as Haunted Harbor Tours. Not as much as I would want, because honestly, Haunted Harbor Tours, I struggle to just make an income sometimes, you know, especially in the winters. You know, I just want to add some decoration to her. She's painting her, you know, horns. She's the chaos princess, you know. She's a very chaotic entity, and also very stylish. Now, typically, in her origin, she'll be a lot younger. She'll be more kind of like Lolita goth, you know, kind of style. But this is her as the immortal form. This is her, like, when she's kind of doing her superhero kind of stuff. Not necessarily a superhero, but cool. Jennifer's going to be joining soon. So, yeah, her whole thing is basically this. She's a vampire princess from another land in a non-Euclidean mountain range. Kind of think Mountains of Madness, where the mountain range actually stretches across planets. And it's the end of the universe, you know, the great unraveling is occurring. The universe is kind of like folding in on itself or coming untwined. Faster than light travel in the futuristic society is kind of broken. And faster than light travel is kind of broken. And, you know, she knows how to fix it. She's been a villainess all of her life. But at the end of the universe, she's going now and she's redeeming not only herself, but those she loves. And, you know, she's trying to undo the great end of the world. It's gonna, yeah. We'll see. And I realize these artifacts that I have left are kind of in it until they're not. I'm gonna have to go on the top layer and clean up some of these pixels. I was doing that before the stream began, but I missed some spots, and it was actually really difficult to get the stream going. It's actually very difficult to get the stream going. I started this channel, but I haven't uploaded anything to it. And so yesterday, thank goodness, I went on to YouTube and I clicked a button, said I want to stream. I had a feeling that it was going to take a while for them to start the stream. They said 24 hours, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm glad I did it at about 11:49. Was when I did that. I clicked that button yesterday at 11:49, and they said, 24 hours. And I figured, well, it'll probably be fine. This will be fine. They'll probably approve me well before the 24-hour threshold. But it ends up, you know, I mean, used to be, back when I had Haunted Harbor Tours, when they were doing this, I had to release several videos for them to review and actually look at and review whether or not I was going to be able to live stream. It seems like they've done away with that feature, and you can just immediately begin live streaming on whatever platform you want. So here we go. Just I'm not listening to any music right now. I was thinking about, I don't have my desktop volume picked up by the streaming software, so I could actually put on some meditative music. I had it on, but then when I started live streaming, I just closed all my tabs. So yeah, I mean, this is a first stream. I'm going to be more entertaining later on as I get a chat, hopefully, you know. But this is cool. It's you know, the first step in building an audience, which is what I need the most, really. Yeah, and it's pretty clear she's painting her horns now. So let's see. With this umbrella, what I was thinking is I kind of wanted it white and black. We're not going to do just straight black, because that would be no bueno. I think what we're going to do, why is it a green when I was more on the color of red or blue? Let's do that. I missed a spot. There we go. G. Boop. Haha. Oops. Where are you missing? Ah. Right there. Now, I mean, you know, the ideal is, I figured as I was doing this, there is a mathematical formula to be able to, like, you can only have four colors touching each other at a single time on a map or a flag or anything, really. And so it's possible to keep her consistent to just four colors. I also know that it's like a big math problem, and to be able to manifest that is actually quite obnoxious and difficult. And so I am not going to be able to do that. Let's try this. What's this? No. We're going to want more of a pink. There's so much pink. There. Just a spot of her hair. got it. Yeah, and we can mess with that. We can get... Let's get this out of the way, actually. I think we're going to do... There we are. The way she's really popping out. Look at that. The fire, most likely greens, yellows, and blacks. Maybe a purple or two. Grays, really. I think black would be good for the fire as well. Yeah, so let's begin this. Okay, and we're going to need the third color right here. Let's make it this. How's that look? Pretty damn good. See? There's the fourth. See? You can have 4 colors touching. Seems to be the rule. I don't know why. But that's all you ever really need. So let's figure out the 4th color here. I'm thinking an occasional purple. Only when I have no other choice. No. Yeah, it doesn't look so bad. Orange is a consistent color with fire. So is yellow, really, but... Let's see. We'll do yellow here. Green here. So we'll do... This should be green. And this should be yellow. And I got green and yellow, so this should be black. And this should be yellow. We've got black, yellow, green. We're going to need to do the orange here and the green. Nope. Control Z. Green here and orange here. So let's see. We've got it started. Ooh. Brush. So there we go. I believe I have my pencil tool. No. I used to have my pencil tool switching sizes as I drew to be able to kind of recreate my stroke. Let's see, we've got green, orange. This could be orange. Or, yeah, it has to be orange. Yellow can go here. Black can go here. And orange must go here. Do we want this one? Yes. We're going to go and just bring that right down here, and we're going to switch this over to a yellow. G, boom. And so here it is so far, this kind of fire that she's walking through. I really don't like that orange. Let me see, what other colors can we get? Maybe a pink. That's not as bad. Maybe it's the green. Maybe I should do kind of a darker green. Like this, perhaps. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that looks much better. And for this background yellow, we're going to do some sort of gradient. But yeah, getting rid of the orange makes it much better, in my opinion. Okay, let's see. We have green is able to go here. Black is able to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Green. No, this must be black. And so therefore this can be purple. And let's see, this touches all 4, and there's no yellow touching it, so we got yellow here. Now, from there, this is touching green, yellow, so it has to be black here. It's actually really fun. It's so fun. Nobody's jumped in yet, and that's fine. I'm sure YouTube will suggest this as I grow the channel. We'll find our audience, man. It's okay. We're not in a rush to have an audience. I've got time. Let's see. I think that ought to be. This can be yellow. Nice. Nope. That has to be purple. So therefore, this. Oops. This can't be. This has to be black. And so therefore, we'll put a green down here. And let's see, purple and yellow. We can do a green here, and a black here, and a yellow here. Am I liking that? Well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to add gradients to this. It's a magical fire. That's what I'm going with. How's that color looking? Really does make her pop, doesn't it? But the fire kind of stands out. I know what it is. Okay, we're going to lighten this up quite a bit. I'm going to go here, 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 here. Yeah. Boom. Got it. That looks great. Man, we don't want purple really touching her, so we're going to put a green there. Now let's see. What can go here? Actually, a black can go there. Look at that. So... there we go. Now, yeah, that one's fine. But wait, you know what? I've hit a snag. This is touching every color. So therefore, we make this green, this black, that yellow, and we can do yellow here as well. This can be any color. We're going to make this purple and this green. Oops. I like to have my pen just charged constantly, always plugged in. Not because I need it to charge, it's charging all the time, just because I like to have a cord to keep it attached nearby. We can do this yellow and this black, and therefore this has to be that kind of purple color. It's not really purple anymore. It's kind of like a jigsaw, you know? Let's see. As we go up, we've got green here, but we'll just set this color to black constantly. There we go. Am I still moving on the screen? Yes, I am. I will be right back. Uno momento. I'm muted. Sorry about that. By the way, remember the LLL button if you need to skip ahead. So I have these two colors are consistent, the same freaking color, and it looks like I could go back and I could begin changing it. And actually, let's see. If I move this one to this one, and therefore this one to this one, boom, I did it. That fixed it. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So let's see. Black. Oops. We'll do green down here. A yellow here. And a green here. We're just going to continue going on. We'll get better at this. It's a lonely thing doing a stream to one person, but at least with YouTube, I know that somebody's going to be able to watch it later. With Twitch, I love Twitch, and I really do. I love it. But the thing is I know that nobody's really ever going to see it. Oops. Control Z, Control Z. That should fix it. Let's check to make sure I haven't messed up the color on this. No, good. It's still black lines. That's wonderful news. Green. Oh, we can put yellow there. Nice. How long have I been streaming for? I've been streaming for an hour and 18 minutes. Doing well. And if you're watching, jump in the chat. I have no idea how many people are actually watching. Still just one, which is perfectly expected. And I'm going to be doing, something similar with this. This is going to be way easier, though, than the fires, because the fires are kind of chaotic. You can't really tell where they're touching. This, it's just a series of rectangles for the underside of her dress. Let's see. Want her legs to pop. And for those straps, right? Purple. Her leg is broken. One of the things I hate about myself is that I can mess up legs to the point where they're just totally broken. Just fine. I've never been a professional, unfortunately. So let's see, we got make this a black. I think this can be a black. We'll have orange here, or yellow here. Which makes this fantastic, actually, this would be the fantastic avenue for green. We're going to make this yellow again. Oops. Control C, this yellow again. Oh, and we have a black. This has got to be light purple. This has got to be yellow or green. I say we go green. The fire's looking pretty freaking consistent and cool. I like the way it kind of has a flow to it. This is looking good. Way better than I imagined, honestly. I expected more purples. Darker purples. So maybe I'll bring in the darker purples as I finish this. But as of right now, I mean, I'm quite happy with what I've got so far. This was one of the smaller drawings, so it's not going to have the detail as like the Hermit here. You know, or at least it's not quite as busy, although the fire is quite busy. Oop. Nope, this one's repeated already. So let's see. How do we undo that? We have to... let's see. Yeah. We have to change this to yellow, and then this can be the green. This, just to keep consistency, will be yellow, and we're going to make this yellow. And from there, this has to be pink, and this will be yellow. Boom. We got it. Not bad. All right, we're at the final moments. Let's see, we'll make this yellow. And we'll work from here. So this can be green. This can be black. And this can be yellow. Making this black. And this green. We have yellow and green touching this, so we could theoretically make this black and this yellow. And then, oop, got a little bit of purple there. Purple here. We can go green on this one. Let's see. This has to be yellow. And then this has to be black. So we can't use green, but we can use yellow, and we can use this light pink. And yes, we have got it so far. This can be green. We're going to go in, brush, and alt, grab a black, go in right here. We're going to make that go up a bit. Booyah. You've got the fire surrounding her. She's walking through fire. You know what I kind of inspired this is think of the song from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Walk Through the Fire. She's on her path, She's sadistic, she's violent, she's a warrior and chaotic, and, at the same time she's just kind of embracing who she is and walking through the fire with it, going on her heroic journey as the universe kind of comes to an end. And she's on a path of redemption, not just for herself, but for the people in her life that she cares about. Oh, look at that little line right there. I'm leaving flaws in right now. I like having flaws. So let's see. Now that we've got all of it down, we can actually start messing with the all right. And I think, okay, so we've got our color base kind of done. I'm thinking what I'm going to do, and obviously this is never going to be a tarot card, because just looking at it, I can tell you it's not the same dimensions as the ones that I'm using from previous. But that's fine. I like it just for the individual piece of art that it is. It was a lot of fun doing that fire. In fact, I do have some more stuff to do. I have to do the umbrella. I have to do the dress. There's some stuff in the dress that I have to do. I want to move over to the comic. We're going to move over to the comic for now. I'm going to return to this in a little bit. And here we go. This is definitely the more interesting of the compositions. I've got the base color set as this kind of metallic blue. And in fact, we're going to go in and we're going to try to, contiguous off. We're going to lighten that up even more. And we're going to start with the, contiguous off. On. We're going to start with the windows on the spaceship. This spaceship is the Druid 16, I believe it is, and it is a, you know what, I want that to be more of a light blue. This is a spaceship kind of a satellite, a base for an interstellar planetary, observation force, the United Nations, the Star Trek Alliance, whatever you may know these from. And this is race of druids from the previous fantasy periods that are observing this planet, and they revolt, and the creatures of this planet that were also the druids. Druids are living on this planet, but they weren't the only ones. It ends up, this is where Ravel kind of makes her appearance, a returning villain at the time to an extent. No, I don't like that. So right now we're just in here doing it in this. These are the windows, so we're just looking for the ones that, and the windows and the, oh fuck, I messed up again. I tell you, I'm hungry. People were in the chat, I'd be chatting with the chat right now as I take this little break. It's kind of a bummer. So let's see. I don't want to stop streaming. I want to keep going. I'll tell you what. Oops. Control Z. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to enlarge this for now. And, maybe I'll show you guys some of the art that I've been working on. So this is a finished version, but with all of these, they're drawn by hand first. Each hand drawing eventually gets scanned. They're 11 by 17, and I'm able to then fill them in with color. So you can see here on this side right here, the High Priestess, and then this is her in color. So I'm doing that with all of these images. I just finished one about 2 weeks ago that I think is my best so far. And I'm going to be making more of this art, and they all have a story to tell. They're both tarot and a piece of art that has a bigger meaning to it and a story to it. I'm calling the entire place of the story the Crystal Galaxy, and at some point I really do want to make something of this, but I'm not really sure what, because I don't have an audience yet. I don't know what my audience is going to want, and I want to do something, it's for me, it's the passion. It's something I love doing. I want to be able to do it as often and free as possible. I want to be able to make money and donate to charity as I do it. And I also, I would love to maybe get this into a new form of media. Comics are fun to read, but to be a comic artist and to be a comic storyteller is a lot of frustration. And I'm not really down for as much of that frustration as I was, and I never really was. There's a reason why I opened a ghost tour business instead of going into comics. It was just, it seemed like I was never going to get where I wanted to be with it, and so I recognized that the jobs just weren't there. And I went into the ghost tours. Now, let's see. We're going to need a color for this. I'm thinking a red. like this, right here. Boom, 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 boom. And obviously this is the space station of a futuristic race of druids. So obviously their space station is in the style of the Arwen, you know. Still just one watching. Just me. Whew. This is the first time I'm streaming with just OBS. I used to use OBS Studio because I thought that was the OBS everybody was talking about. But in this, I just didn't feel like doing the Streamlabs OBS Studio. They have like subscription plans that you have to pay. I accidentally paid it before I realized that it was kind of a knockoff. And now I've got the real thing. It's a lot more difficult interface to use, although I'm going to figure it out. I hate interfaces. I'm really bad at UI. I'm just taking a moment. This is typically where I take a break and watch a YouTube video working on my art, It gets exhausting, you get so far with it. I'm just switching back to this, man. I'm really happy with her. I looking at it now, I definitely think some of the charms and the decorations and things. In fact, let's get that done. Now that I'm looking at it, I've got something I'd like to. Whoops. You see how I see this as a bit of a video game. It's now I'll clean this up. Go into the top layer. Clean that up. What's interesting is I'm not really using layers so much on this one. Yeah, you know what? Let's get that in on this. And this. And I think we can start working with these 3 colors. I'm hoping we can just keep it 3 colors instead of 4 on this one. I'm not quite positive on that, but I think it's a possibility. Nope. I am going to need a 4th color. Do a red. And we'll keep that as limited as possible. In fact, that'll just be our little secret. We aren't going to tell anybody about that red. If they notice it, that's fine, but it's just our happy little secret. So let's see. We can. There's just no way I'm going to be able to do that while consistently keeping it to 3 colors. There are places where just 4 colors have to touch. I believe it's... What a fun dress she's got. And the only goal here is to never have the same color touching itself. So any section that the blue touches can't be touched by the blue. Any section that the yellow touches can't be touched by another of the yellow. And, you know, seems to actually be true. Only 4 colors will touch in a single spot. It's an interesting piece of theory. Oh, yeah, already back at It's getting more and more that I'm using that red. Yeah, it's getting more and more that I'm using that red. But that's fine. Oh no! Alright, switching up. Boop. It's fine. As far as I can tell, there's no choice other than to use red on that one. Yeah, I mean, it is actually possible that could have been a green. All right, there we go. We got the kind of under trimming of her dress all done there. Here's one that I've, whoops. Here's one that I have done, but I haven't printed or done anything with. It's one that I really don't care for. I'm playing, and I've done several recolorings of this. This is the Hierophant. It's based off of architecture of Christian churches, particularly inspired by the Roman aesthetic. It's a little Gothic, a lot of the Gothic aesthetic, as well as some of the more classic. It was... The Hierophant is one of my least favorite cards. I tried to force myself to do the Hierophant. The Hierophant is like authority, school, pope, basically just the institutional authority. And so I tried to do something pretty fun with this, I do feel as though the wand-head people, they're supposed to be the kind of mystics, more science, kind of analytical kind of race. And so they don't really fit as the typical priests. And that's kind of the goal. That's kind of the point, I think, is to separate him from organized religion that we know and move him into something more organized religion that is alien and unknown. We love alien things. And, I always find myself wondering what kind of religion would each planet hold. What influences would they have? Moons and planets that they see in the celestial sky would impact the religions that they create, and the gods that they hold dear. One day, people are going to watch this video, hunting through the archives of my videos when I'm successful. And they'll watch, and hello to you, years later watching this. Still nobody in the chat. Nobody's really come across this. YouTube's going to be slow in picking me up and noticing. I'm not doing this with Haunted Arbiters. Haunted Arbiters, I would have already had somebody watching by now, which is why I know YouTube's the platform to go with. And then this one right here, I'm actually hoping, this isn't the finished version. In fact, these guys are now orange. I'm hoping eventually to get these in a place where they work really well on a black light. I've tested this a couple of times under a black light, and not the best. But what I need is blacklight ink. And then I'll be able to really get those blacklight colors to just pop. And I know eventually this will freaking pop. This is the perfect blacklight image, the moon. I've got to mess around with it a great deal. I've got to change the colors, the reds. And honestly, this was one of the first that I did in this scale. I think it was the first that I did in this scale. And so, like, this was basically just black ink that I recolored green. And it pops this paddle in a way that I don't necessarily like. But I always kind of had the impression that I would make it kind of just a piece of wood or a piece of plant. And obviously, you know, I mean, with my tarot cards, I'm going into a kind of a different direction than the Rider-Waite deck. Even though it's still consistent, it still holds all the magical ideas behind it. You know, I'm a big proponent of like study and understanding of the tarot. And so that's what I'm kind of going with here. All right, I tell you what, I'm 2 hours in. I'm starting. I'm going to jump back in an hour or two. I'm going to take a break. I need a break. And I'm going to jump back in. I'm going to finish coloring that comic page in about an hour or two. It'll be a new video. That's fine. It'll be a new stream. I'll do this comic page. I'll finish up. I might get started on this one and that one, and I'll finish up. I'll do some gradient stuff, and I'll start working with this. Oh, God, I really am happy with the way it's come out. I really feel like she really jumps off of the page with her bright colors and everything else kind of being pastel in the back, or, you know, kind of a lighter color. So we'll finish this. We'll get more shading on her. You know, obviously what I did on the face was just the beginning. And from there, once I return, once I eat some lunch, I'm hungry. Oh my goodness! Wait, I have a viewer. I'm not logging off while I have a viewer. So never mind. We're gonna jump right over onto the comic page. Thank you for jumping in. I know you don't have to chat or anything. I don't expect anything from you, but I am glad you're here. This is a first stream. And so thank you for watching, whoever you may be. If you're Jennifer, though, you should definitely jump into the chat, because I'd love to chat with you. Oops, Control-Z. Boom. Thank you for coming in. I needed that motivation. I was kind of thinking myself into a bit of a stupor. There's a lot you can watch if you scroll back a little bit, and so what I'm doing right now is I'm coloring the Druid's spaceship. It's more of a, yeah, obviously this is in the distant future. This is the spaceship of a class of Druids, you know, a race of Druids who, you know, are concerned more with nature than anything else, obviously being Druid. And I want this color for these Windows roofs. So we're doing 3 images today. We're doing this comic page, and there's going to be a central theme. If you notice this face right here, this blackened figure right here, and I believe, yes, this right here. If you notice, she's in 2 places on this panel, and there's something to that. Then is this woman right here, Ravel Raven, who's going to be, I'm still working on figuring out the type of person she's going to be, or the full character model. I mean, right now, I'm just getting myself working. I'm building my audience and getting everything good. And then, of course, this is the third page in which this character is appearing. This is the third page I'm working on today. It's retelling of Shakespeare's Tempest that I'm working on making in a comic. I don't know if I'm going to be using this bottom panel right here, but I love this top one, and so that's kind of what I'm focusing on. I might color the bottom panel, but so I'm just an artist. I don't know if I'm making a comic fully. I'm definitely making a set of tarot cards. For instance, the Hermit here, which I plan to do a live stream of this one at some point, filling these mountains with the graffiti art is one of the major goals of this card. I also want to lighten his cloak. He's supposed to be in heavy shadow. He's wearing a dark purple cloak, but when I print it, it isn't super visible, and so I want to get this better for all of that. The coloring process or the print process. I would love for these to be able to be on shirts. This isn't even actually the finished image. This is just the first one of it that I found that was pretty good representation of what I've got so far for this card. I've been working on them a lot, and so I tell you what, God, I hate shadows. I am so afraid of adding shadows, especially here. I don't want her overly endowed. You know what I mean? And I feel like as a man, my inclination is to make him larger than they really need to be. And she is not, even though she's a sadist and she takes pleasure in the kind of bringing misfortune to others, or a little bit of sadism to others. I don't want her to be an overtly sexual character. She's not. And so, but she does like being pretty. She likes dressing pretty. That's definitely too light. Let me see. What can we do? Go back here. Okay. Brush. I'm gonna G. Perfect. Brush. G. Yeah. Of course. So feel free to chat. I imagine you're probably just watching from work and doing your work stuff, whoever you may be. Let's see, her shirt is kind of overhanging this area right here. So let's... Okay, not that one, but I can do these. Well, that's pretty damn good. Yeah, I like keeping them consistent with secondary colors. Let's see. Thank you, whoever's watching. 3 are watching now. Wow, I'm building an audience. First live stream ever, and I've already got 3 people watching. I'm not doing so bad. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see. Yeah, with this, I want reds. Obviously, a mushroom cap is best when it's at its reds. We'll grab this, and we'll grab a brush, and we'll just G, boom, Control, or whoops, Alt, boom, boom, Alt, brush, G. And let's see, for the stalk itself, I think it's got to be a similar color to the underside. And what we're going to do is we're just going to maybe, yeah, darken it here. Make it more, ooh, yeah. Well, let's see, I actually like that color for this guy. This is one of her voodoo dolls. You know, her dress is supposed to show personality. And, you know, while we're at it, why not? Planchette. Perfect. So there we go. Let's get some of that dark red on her lips. She's certainly looking sinister. Let's see, I want decorations on her shoulder pads here. Yellow, perhaps, yeah. I'll grab this yellow right here. And we're going to start now she's a shadow person. You know, I mean, her magic is very heavily involved in light and shadow. Always has been. And so, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm liking that. And so therefore, we'll come on to the other side and we'll do the same or similar over here. But no, not the same. I want this one to be more of this kind of effect. Kind of a swirling mass of shadow and light. And lava lamp here. This is actually something that you'll see me doing from time to time in my art, is kind of making these kind of swirling lava lamp like things. I imagine, and it's very visible in my Two of Pentacles. I imagine it's living, it's moving, you know, it's a still image. It's, you know, unfortunately not animated. It would be cool to animate some of these at some point. But yeah. Somebody's got me on in the background, and I appreciate it. I hope your work's going well for you. Nobody's hit the chat just yet. That's not to say they won't. What am I doing on coffee? I still got some coffee. Yeah, I really am hoping that I can get this to a place where I'm donating to charity. I really do feel it's important that I help. Once I get this, you know, if I'm able to get this, that I help some organizations as well that I believe in. Possibly, you know, send some money to a scholarship for arts. Maybe even one day open my own scholarship for artists who suffer from similar things that I suffer from: dyslexia, you know, depressive disorders, some of the mental health issues. And also, it's really important to me that at some point I donate to the Benjamin Benakar Frederick Douglass Museum in Annapolis here. They really are an important organization to me. And one that I believe donating to would do the most good. I've been in a couple of times, talked to them about donations. They don't really seem like they want a lot of donations, but, you know, we'll find who I donate to. The problem is, I live in Annapolis, so I run into a lot of organizations that are seeking donations, but I'm never actually confident that the money they're asking for is going to where they're saying it's going. You know, that's one of the unfortunate truths of nonprofits, is I want to make sure that if I donate money to help, it actually goes to help. And this is the most important area to get shading, right? Because this is where the eyes draw on the face we humans love To interpret and inspect faces. She's certainly looking charming. I mean, you know, she's colorful. It's sinister. That's really what I'm going for. You know, I'm trying not to be too much like Harley Quinn, although if I ever manage to show her personality, she will not seem too far off from Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn came first, you know, you can't really stop a comparison to something that's already exists. People love comparing, you know. It's, you know, one of, seems to be just a part of art. I wrote a book once about a man who seeks to have certain sides of himself lobotomized out of his brain. And everybody was like, oh, it's like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And no, it's not. It's very different than Eternal Sunshine. Great movie. One of the best. I'll give credit there. But it's also not what I was hoping to be compared to. Or it's not a fair representation of my story that I wrote and I've never published. I could have. I wrote 75,000 words, but I never... One of those people, I don't see things through. I'm so glad that somebody's been watching for as long as you have. Thank you so much for tuning in. So there she is. Not finished. But currently a work in progress. I'd say a pretty good work in progress. You know, it's actually an interesting thing, painting those vampire teeth pink. Like, she's painting her horns. She's got, you know, I mean, if she is actually a vampire, which is kind of ambiguous, but she'll definitely have the pointed teeth of one, because she is a creature of fear. Will she paint her teeth? I mean, honestly, I don't see why vampire culture, women who like being decorated and, you know, kind of colorful, wouldn't. I'll be honest here. I think this might be better as a darker color. Let's try it. Yeah. Way better as a darker color. It's pretty fucking cool. Oops, pardon my French. Yeah, I mean, that's more of a yellow kind of adornment. Still nobody in the chat. 2 people watching though. Doing pretty all right. And that's the thing with YouTube streaming. It's just like eventually a couple people will show, and then more. I've had 3, which is nice. Great for a first stream. Never streamed on this channel before. I have 0 subscribers aside from myself. So it's a good sign that 2 people are watching right now. And as YouTube gets to know me, they'll start suggesting me more and more. Whoever's watching, I appreciate it. Let's see. I really hate this foot. It's like one of my big mistakes, and it's so apparent. She's looking pretty freaking terrifying, I'd say. And it's amazing because it's done with such bright colors, you know. I mean, I love it. Really shows off the chaoticness of her personality. And the goal with the dresses is, if anybody ever cosplays as her, I want, you know, I know cosplayers like to have variety that they can choose from. And having a dress that's just constantly amorphous, changing from fashion to fashion, you know, is something that I hope a cosplayer will really love, you know. Because I would love to see somebody cosplay as her. I think I mean, I love her. I've put a lot of time, and I really care about what I've been working on with her. And let's see. Looks like I mostly got it. I think that's a lot up. Yeah, it's the last of them. And she's very sinister. No, it's not her. I wonder who it could be. Well, I appreciate the viewer. I really do. Somebody else is on briefly. Maybe it was Brandon. Not the most professional. So let's see. We got that finished. Ish. Probably gonna work on it some more. Let's get into this. Oh, right. I can go back and I can fix what I've done so far with this image, or I can clean it up and jump out. I tell you, I do think I've hit that spot at the break where I need a break. I'm going to take about an hour off, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish this image. Now is the time that I'm actually going to take the break. I've just got to clear my head and, you know, relax a bit. take a moment to maybe scroll some YouTube myself. And I'm going to return in a little bit. I appreciate everybody tuning in, all three of you. And with that, thank you guys so much for joining. I'll be back in a little bit, maybe an hour or two. Thanks for tuning in so far, and I'll see you in a little bit.